Hi guys, it's DK Daniels. Um, it's great to have yous all here again for another live stream. Just 1 second. Um, okay, um, it's great to have you here for the actual third anniversary of You, Me, and Them. It's it just feels like yesterday that I actually released that book, but yeah, it's crazy to think now that 3 years have gone by and I'm still writing stories. Um, but yeah, anyway, we'll just natter on for a little bit and we'll wait until some folks turn up and whatnot. But um, anyway, so I plan on giving out a few bits and bobs. For folks, I'll get into that in a little bit and how you can avail of them and whatnot. But if you if you're only showing up and you don't know who I am, or this is your first time, I'm DK Daniels. I'm a YA LGBTQ fiction author, and I've been writing for about 5 years now, and I enjoy it immensely. Um, but yeah, anyway, so I'll show you a couple of my books, and we'll talk a little bit about you and I, you, me, and them. You and I, though, the anniversary for that is probably coming up soon enough. But yeah, anyway, I'll just show you a few of my books and whatnot, as I said, while we wait for some folks to turn up. And yeah, so um, if you're watching, don't be afraid to say hi. I'll actually just say, okay, uh, there you go. I'll start that off. But so yeah, so if you're, you know, in the comments or whatnot, just say hi. Anyway, as I was saying, I have some news and I have some cool stuff that I want to show to you guys. But yeah, so first off, before I get into the whole you, me, and them thing, I have some awesome news for folks who love Dumbstruck. Um, I didn't plan on actually, getting the paperback versions of Dumbstruck done, but it just happened. It was supposed to be an ebook thing, but I'm thrilled to say that there is paperback equivalents of Dumbstruck now, so you can grab yourself a copy of Dumbstruck. So I'll just show you the back now here. But yeah, it's really cool. It's another one of my books where I've done pretty much all the formatting, all the cover work and whatnot. But yeah, that's just I'm really happy how they've turned out, and yeah, I can't wait to share the third one with you, which will be coming soon. Um, hopefully by the end of next month I'll be announcing some stuff just after the announcement or the launch of How I Live Now, which is another book. There's a few things happening um, this year, or in the next month or so. But this quarter is a quite a busy one. But yeah, anyway, so I'm the author of Dumbstruck, which is now in paperback format. If you haven't known about that, so that's cool. Of course, I was just talking about You and I, which, if you've never read You and I, you should definitely read it. It's awesome. Revolves around these two kids who, kind of get to know each other through pen paling, which is kind of a dead medium, but I just decided I wanted to bring it back. But yeah, that's You and I. And of course, as they say, this is my biggest book at the moment, of course. But yeah, this was released this year. Also, was released on my birthday, the 29th of January. Um, at the live stream event when I was releasing this, I didn't actually have the paperback because it's harder to get things into Ireland at the minute. With Brexit and of course with the EU and whatnot. So I don't know what the story is going on, but it's just difficult to get a lot of stuff. But I was able to get the book now finally, so I can actually show you. I was actually very surprised on how big it is because most of my other books are like half the size of this one, but I'm really thrilled how it turned out. But yeah, I'm the author, as they say, as well, which is my only big Irish story. I wrote it, I think, in 2018. Yeah, but there's that. And then, of course, A Case of Jitters, which revolves around, friendship falling out and, bullying and whatnot. It's more of a serious read than most of my other stories. But yeah, there's that. And then We Are Here, which composes 18, I believe it's 18. Yes, 18. 18 of my short stories, which most people have probably read by now. You can find them on Gay Authors and Nifty, or you can find them on Amazon and whatnot. But yeah, there's that. So yeah. Um, and then last but not least, Chasing Christmas, which is my famous Christmas story about, two boys falling in love at a Christmas setting. But yeah, these are all the paperbacks that I have. I hopefully there will be more in the future, but that's it. I'm not too sure if you can see some of the book covers up there, but that's just some more of my book covers that I've actually released individually or whatnot. But yeah, it's probably hard to see them with the glare or whatnot. But yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I have a few things to talk about, of course, and all of those books are available, of course, on the likes of Amazon and Google and whatnot. But for folks who have turned up for, prizes and whatnot, which are time limited only to this live stream, so I'll only be doing them during this live stream. So in order how to avail of them, which I'll showcase them now in a minute, all you have to do is be signed up to my mailing list and send me an email with basically the You, Me, and Them 2022 code or something like that. I should have read it the opposite way around, but basically it's YM, the fancy, and T and 2022. That's all you have to do. You have to sign up to my mailing list, which you can find all of that, how to sign up there, at DK Daniels, www.dkdaniels-.com. I think I did that wrong. So it's www.dk-daniels.com. Yeah, no, I got it right. Never mind. But yeah, that's all you have to do. You have to sign up there and and email me during this live stream with that code. I will be checking to make sure folks are signed up. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to get into a few of the gifts here, and then I'll give you a bit of a reading from You, Me, and Them, just, to let folks know what it was kind of like for the story. But yeah, anyway, so people will be selected, randomly or whatnot to keep it fair. But everybody has a chance at winning, so definitely do, sign up. And if you're already on my mailing list, just pop me an email with, the You, Me, and Them shortened down, condensed, what I usually do, and yeah, with the 2022 at the end. But yeah, this only applies to this live stream. So once this live stream is over, it's gone. But anyway, so I'll get on to the few little small bits. So first, I have some artwork to share with folks. Now, I've had some people ask me in the future, Daniel, would you consider sharing some artwork or whatnot? And my personal artwork, I don't think is quite there, but I am happy that I might in the future will start sharing some more of my stuff, with you guys. And my hope is that maybe going forward in the future, you'll be able to, order some of my stuff from the likes of Etsy or whatnot. So you can add to your, collection with your books or whatnot. So it just feels a bit more memorabilia or stuff from your favorite stories. And of course some character profiles and whatnot. But anyway, so I have printed some stuff here for you guys. And of course, these ones are limited at the moment. So if you're interested in them, all you have to do is, pop your email in the bottom of, oh, sorry, pop your email to me or whatnot. Um, but anyway, yeah, I'll be sending 3 people these particular prints or whatnot, autographed by me. But yeah, so anyway, so the first one is, of course, you, me, and them. I wanted to share, a bit of artwork. So I've decided to, this out. So yeah, it's a high gloss finish. So I'm not too sure whether most people approve of that, but they look amazing to me. So um, I'm really happy with how they turned out. So of course, um, yeah. So you have Jackson and Taylor here, from You, Me, and Them. But yeah. So okay, this one's again. Yep. Moving on. Um, and then of course I have 3 identical prints of You and I. The book cover. Oh, sorry, of You and I. Trying to get rid of the gunner. Of course, for You and I. These will all be signed as well by me, of course. So yeah, I'm thrilled. So you can get these 2 together as well, of course. Then we have, of course, which is a a bit of a, a new thing, which is not just out yet, but How I Live Now comes out, I believe, next week. And is it not the 28th? Yeah, I think it's next week. And um yeah, so I decided this week as well I'll throw in the characters I drew. So folks can, be included in that thing before the launch even happens. But anyway, so if you're interested in character kind of drawings, a small bit, they're not like, you know amazing quality to some artists, you see, but I'm getting there, I suppose. And hopefully in the future I'll be able to maybe do the likes of a comic book or whatnot. That's a goal for me in the future. But yeah, so this is Kyle. There's 3 of him as well. Well, yeah, the others stuck there, yeah, but you can see it. So yeah, there's Kyle from How I Live Now, and then to go alongside him, you have Matthias as well, which you can see, the quality have, my drawing skills have already improved immensely because I did this one first, and you can see where I've gotten better already. I haven't done art in a long time. The last time I did any really drawing was when I was like 15 or something like that, and I've been kind of out of practice. So, but I think these are kind of cool. I'm really happy with how they turned out. So yeah, so that's Matthias and Kyle from How I Live Now. Um, they'll be signed too if you wish. Also, if you don't want them signed and I pick you out of the raffle or whatnot, just tell me that you don't want them signed. If you'd rather just the art, yeah, that's okay too. So just let me know about that. And of course, I decided to add As They Say, because some folks asked, and the artwork is just beautiful by Milos, and I just couldn't not share it, of course, because he did such an amazing job. Um, and of course, the back cover of As They Say, the shine is absolutely detrimental. But yeah, so that's the back cover of As They Say, the castle and the lake with Ross and Adam. But yeah, so they can be signed as well. So between all of those, you have all of this. But yeah, so these are all of the few bits that I've printed, and if you're interested, just let me know. So I'll have to mention that a few times. throughout the live stream in case people come in late. I'm not too sure. Again, if anybody's watching, whatnot, say hi. I won't bite. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section below. And once again, if you want to be included in the giveaway for the signed autographs or the book box, you just have to be signed up to my mailing list and email me the code word you, me, and them 2022. But yeah, so that's only available for this live stream. Anyway, so then of course this was originally launched around the time of As They Say, and I still have one left. These seem to be very popular. But I only have one left, so that means there's only going to be one lucky person this time. But in the book box, I included 3 books. So you had A Case of Jitters, You, Me, and Them. Oh, no, sorry, We Are Here, sorry. We Are Here. Why do I keep saying that? And As They Say. So these 3 books come with the box, in addition to a letter as well, which is secret, which you're not supposed to read until you read A Case of Jitters. So only a few folks have been able to open that letter. It's personally from Jacob. Then of course you have a mug, well, a bamboo mug or whatever you want to call it. This was, of course, for the launch of As They Say, so it was all Irishy kind of inspired. And then, of course, you have the cap, and then, magnets or whatnot for the folks outside of Ireland. So there you have a magnet. But yeah, so that's a magnet of sheep. I don't know why tourists just seem to be really interested in sheep here in Ireland. It's not like the sheep don't exist anymore, although anywhere else in the world. But I will admit we do have a lot of sheep. But yeah, there's that. Of course, then you have a few pencils or whatnot that have Irish lines on them. I'm not too sure whether you can see them, but yeah, you have that. And then, of course, you have some other stuff like that's not included here. You have, of course, book covers and a few, personalized mementos and stuff like that. And then, of course, you have maps of, various locations or whatnot that's within these books right here that I was talking about. And then, of course, a few other bits and bobs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you're interested in the book box, just sign up to my mailing list and, just type in, of course, the Yumi and Them 2022 code word. But yeah, anyway, so we'll move on now anyway. So we've showed off those few things. I'll read the first chapter of You, Me, and Them, and then I think I'll just see how it goes after that. But yeah, anyway, so I'll have to I'll read it off my phone because of course You, Me, and Them is it's an ebook, so it's not available in maybe someday, but right now it's not. But anyway, so I'll get going on this. Anyway, so here we go. The languorous flame wafted in the air. The smoke carried higher into the azure sky. The droll-wordy taste gloated among the atmosphere. The Kent allurement of grilled burgers made my stomach grumble. I knew whatever Dean was cooking on the grill, I wanted it. The aroma of hot dogs, hamburgers, and fries was enough to bring out the primal urges of me at 16. The tender, succulent, meaty sweetness would be so tasty as I dug in. If I had been a vampire, I'm sure my fans would have been leaking blood, but ironically, I was not such a creature. As I recall, the brazier had been lit. Dad had done so early mid-morning, to the protest of Mom, But hey, it's the 4th of July, Dad proudly announced. I hadn't much planned, and if I did, it consisted of sitting by the poolside all day, watching my brother Dean slave over the grill, bitching and moaning about how hot it happened to be. From what I do recall of the day, it was perhaps the hottest day I have ever experienced in all my life. I don't think anything comes to the intensity of the sun that day. Then again, when you are 16, working on a tan in the middle of summer vacation, who has time to contemplate if it is hot? Temperatures soaring past 95 degrees is naturally humid and clammy as it is, so on its own, nothing quite beats the dead of summer heat. The morning of the fort, I remember being a little putrid. I'd been drinking the night before, and for the first time in my entire young existence, I felt morbidly ill. The result had been me puking up a whole ring of my stomach. The innocent of such an act had been seen as foolish and reckless by my parents. I don't think I had any regrets for defying the law and getting pissed. I will admit, yes, I got smashed a little more so than I initially believed I would. Then again, that was the fun in it. From what I remember, my parents were quite lenient about it, except they were a little disappointed that I hid the secret from them. In my mother's words, she said, I would like to know that you are drinking rather than finding out that you have been doing so behind my back from one of the soccer moms down the street. For the for the most part, I spent a great deal of the morning laying on the lounger in the backyard, early in the morning, to which I am quite surprised I managed to pull it off. If I were doing such an act at today's age, one of two things ought to happen. I'd either get whacked and pass out into the early hours only to re-emerge before noon dying of a terrible hangover. The other plausible experience is the sensation of an illness which has wholly disappeared to me. I'd only be able to distinguish my age in the number of times I've thrown up, but since I cannot now stomach it, it has come to show me how much I've grown up. That morning, Jax and I went for a swim down by the lake. The moment still appears as fresh in my memory as it ever were happening. How the sand cradled my feet, how its texture, so subtle, gritty, its willingness for it to stick to our legs and toes. I have not swum as much since I was a kid. Those years are the boisterous youth of my soul, and still to this day, I wish I could relive a fraction of those sweet times. A matter of fact, the last time I was ever swimming leisurely for the fun of it without an obligation was the 4th of July with Jackson. Both of us were drinking, and the previous night at Jason Smith's cookout, the teenage ideal at Lake Chabaco. Chabaco? Oh, I can't even say my own. Um, yeah. But this is obviously before the time where I started, developing my open world or whatnot. So there's still some stories that are not, um, in my fictional world. There's only like two or three, as far as I'm aware now, because everything else has been moved. Um, as far as I'm aware, off the top of my head, it's this one and Chasing Christmas, because Chasing Christmas takes place in Chicago. But yeah, anyway, every summer kids got together. Well, the strangers did, and on the 3rd of July, Jason always threw his big barbecue parties where all the older guys and girls were invited to his lodge overlooking the waterfront. To the best of my recollection, Jason's lodge is where I met Jackson. Both of us had been a little shy prior to the meeting. The two of us were in quite literal sense fish out of water. The afternoon progressed, and we came to notice each other several times throughout the evening, only we never crossed the line as much as to speak to one another. However, after 10 p.m., I decided to be the brave one and initiate a conversation. By far, it is the most significant outcome I have ever ventured. It happened by the waterfront, down by the lake, where the tier between land and water is present. I approached Jackson and introduced myself. The first time I addressed Jackson, I remember the boy was glum, the light skin of his face hid in shadow, but his eyes, with the flood of light coming from the house, told the truth as to how he felt. It was evident Jackson did not fit in with the crowd of individuals who showed up on the night. Profusely, this is how I probably got talking to him in the first place. Nevertheless, I am thankful for having the opportunity, even though the party was not what it is today. Kids found it interesting to tease Jackson about his skin color, like red-headed people are made fun of, although not Jason. Alternatively, from the night some 5 years ago, Jackson and I developed a special bond, and to this day, I would not trade my best friend for anything. The sad part is, we lived in separate cities, and during vacations were the only time both of us ever got together. Back then, Jackson's eccentric, wiry hair was not as static as it was on the 4th of July. I'm not saying anything is wrong with his hair, I found it appealing. I never found fault with it, although as the years passed and my sexuality bloomed, every little thing Jackson did drove me crazy. I loved seeing him, and because his hair stood out a mile, I always knew how to find him in a crowd. I'd follow his gorgeous puffy hair above the head of most other teenagers. I remember the summer prior to our special vacation. Jackson came to the lake from the city with dreadlocks. Devastated by the appearance, I kept my mouth shut, but when Jackson asked me what I thought, I let him know the truth. Dude, what did you do to your hair? I said. Astonished and in fear, I contemplated. What if Jackson left his hair like that forever? What? Oh, I got locks. What you think? I gave them a quick doing over, except my decision did not change on how they looked. Your normal hair is much better. I tried to be assuring, or at least a little optimistic, that I was open to the change. Even though I wasn't, the next morning Jackson and I met up. He had undone all the small dreadlocks except for one, which he left dangling from the right side of his temple. And you know what? I found it hot. On the day of reckoning, following our swim, I let myself bake in the late afternoon sun. The rays were glorious. What I would give to be 16 again. I'd have no problem returning to the lake to lounge in the mid afternoon sun. Hunger brewed deep within the pits of my stomach, and as I chilled, Jackson slipped off to his home to wash all the dirt and mud the two of us accumulated during the swim in the lake. When I got back, the first order of business was to wash off, and I did so under the outside pool shower, but Jackson decided to head home. I don't know what was going on with him on that day. Since we were young, it was customary to rinse off under the jet in my yard with suds everywhere before downing a cool something and then plunging to the bottom of my swimming pool after all the effort we went to under the outdoor facilities. I miss those days where we were so carefree and welcoming. I didn't wait anxiously for Jackson to come back. I knew he'd find his way back in his own time. To pass the time, I slid off the seat and diddled into the pool. The way I saw it, if I work up more hunger, the food would be tastier. Back and forth, I tore a direct line in the pool, forcing myself to go faster and harder in the liquid. The breaststroke was my affirmed decision. I splashed around in the pool for about 15 minutes, similar to a seal. Nobody said anything to me. Folks who walked by must have thought I resembled a distressed oceanic mammal. The process of the entire exercise was refreshing, plus, with the beams of scorching sun coming down on the landscape, the water offered a delightful retreat. I got lost in my process. By the time the dinner was ready, my mother called to me, only with all the water barging my ears every millisecond, I missed her call. Mom has always had a habit of coming over to the edge where her shadow casts onto the bottom of the pool. I have no idea why on that day when I lifted my head out of the water I expected it to be Jackson. In a weird notion, I hoped it was Jackson. I ceased paddling, thrust upward, spreading myself out in the water to stay afloat. Wiping my face, I focused on Mom through the narrow veins of trickling water streaming down from my head. She smiled, said kindly, "Food is almost ready. Go tell Jackson." Smirking back, I peered up at her, and she headed back to Dean standing at the red brick pit for the barbecue. I listed on my side, dragging myself to the ladder. Clambering up, and the warm rays beamed down on my slickered back. Across the way, the family began to take their place under a sizable beige parasol. Beneath a weathered brown table lay fully assembled. Mom did go to the extreme of decorating for the 4th of July. Party streamers hung from a lamp, and newel posts and tiki torches outlined us in a circumference. Red, white, and blue napkins spewed across the table. In necessity, and paper serving plates sat in a pile by the post for the umbrella, with all the kids' phones atop, acting as a counterweight for the slight rouse of wind. In the distance, the two families' swimming gear clung to the clothesline. My sister's little wetsuit, my dad's swimming trunks, hell, even Jackson's board shorts, and his mother's bikini bra draped drying. The abundance of all the recliners around the table possessed. I suppose we did a lot of swimming. The weather was really beautiful for everyone who was feeling the spirit. Closing the distance to the table, I plucked up my towel, glanced over at Dean, who finished the first batch of food and wrapped the light over my shoulders. Soaking, I descended our long garden toward the lake, and with the break in the hedging before the waterfront that separated our neighbours, I set foot onto their land and trailed along the water's edge. I enjoyed the stroll, how the grass worn tin passage guiding me, and with the sun blinding me fiercely, frying my face. A track cut across, and an echo came out from a nearby woods. Glancing at the source of the intrusion, I saw Mr. and Mrs. Martin. "Hello, Taylor," they called out together. They were a lovely couple. For argument's sake, I'll assume they were in their 60s at the time. The Martins had always been pleasant to Jack's and my family. I remember I used to take turns with Jackson at cutting their grass a couple of times during the summer. Dean would occasionally help if the old man needed something substantial and labour intensive done. As with any cookout, I knew it would be a matter of time before my mom brought food over for them to eat, because that's the type of person my mom is. She's too good for people, and there is always an open spot at our dinner table, no matter how full the dinner table is. Only, I didn't mind the old couple. They were friendly enough, except they mainly kept to themselves. I waved back, placing my left hand over the two parting points of the towel and clasped them together. I extended my greeting. It was customary for people to travel along the waterfront of each other's properties when you wanted to go from one another's houses, especially to neighbours and friends. Plus, the road was more of an uphill battle. At least the lakefront was a continuous level. Leaving the Martins' property behind, I turned onto a broad strip and walked up. In the distance, a cabin-like multi-story split home sat embedded into the earth off the raised road in the background, meaning the lakeside of the house had a raised decking to reach the living room, and the bottom story housed a descending garage and gym. gawking at the green jaded trampoline, which had seen better days, but is still within a good working order. I started up the stairs to the upper level of the veranda. When Jackson and I were 13, the two of us used to dive off the upper balcony and into the net trampoline below. It was fun, to say the least, although I haven't got a clue as to how neither of us ended up breaking something. We did it without our parents knowing, and I don't think they would have been too pleased to find out we did do it. We were adventurous kids in those days. At the top of the stairs, I slid the porch door open, stepped inside. 9 out of 10 times the door was left ajar because when we were younger, the kids were always looking for food and drinks. A way of solving the problem of having an adult in the house at all times, our parents continued to leave one door unlocked. In those days, we went everywhere. We even travelled as far as the tennis courts in Newbridge, the small town a couple of miles upshore. In later years, Jackson and I got used to his father's jet ski, making the commute for hanging out with friends much less of a bore from having to walk all the time. Okay, so that's the end of the, the first chapter. Um, yeah, it just it feels weird to be reading it or whatnot. Uh, yeah, but anyway, it just feels weird after all that time. But yeah, anyway, I probably won't ramble on much longer. But of course, it's been 3 years since I wrote the story, and it's just it's really awesome, to be honest. I'm probably due, to go back and revise some of my older stories and probably bring them over into my multiverse or whatnot. But like, well, the settings, I don't really change my older stories, but of course, with the settings, I might be changing, but to make them all feel a part of my current world. But yeah, that's pretty much. I'm not going to ramble on too much. I know some folks are going to be busy, but yeah. Um, but yeah, so if you're interested in of course, the book box, just let me know. All you have to do is sign up to my mailing list. You can go to www.dk-daniels.com and send me an email with You, Me, and Them 2022 in it. The the official ending of this ends when I end this live stream, but to the folks who are sending me emails or whatnot, I'll give to the end of the day or whatnot, if for folks who are interested in that. But and if anybody is interested in these, the same applies. I'll be picking the folks randomly, so yeah, there's that. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much all I have to really offer. I didn't really, think of it as like a long live stream or whatnot. I'm not too sure whether anybody even turned up here. My counter says here that nobody is here, but it's been inaccurate in the past because there has been folks watching, and it just doesn't always work out that way. But anyway, but yeah, anyway, so that's it, guys, and I hope it's been interesting. It's 3 years, so if you haven't read the story fully yet, you should definitely read it. It's one of my older ones. But anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. Okay, bye bye, and thanks for tuning in. And of course, do all that stuff that most YouTubers tell you to, like, subscribe, and all that crap. But if you definitely want to be involved in this stuff, definitely head over to my website and sign up for my mailing list. because these are limited things and I don't give them away all the time. But anyway, so yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.